Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for the 26th of July, 2013. Hope you're doing well today. Taking a look out at the tropics. Dorian, the topic of conversation right now, but I think this is going to be short-lived. Why? Because it looks like that. Very disorganized, lots of dry air being injected into the system by southwesterly shear coming across, kind of like fanning a paper plate across a pot of boiling pasta, something like that, and you drop that froth right back down if you fan a plate across it. If you've ever done that, it works. And the same kind of thing holds true here in the deep tropics when you have dry mid-level air that's kind of being pushed into a tropical cyclone. It forces it to ingest it into the circulation, and down goes the convection. If we look at an infrared shot of the system, even here too, you can tell very limited convection, very disorganized, no banding features evident, and those rain bands are what helps to feed the moisture into the center of circulation, and that is lacking, and so the system of little concern right now. The forecast track, if it were to survive, brings it towards the greater Antilles here, Puerto Rico, the Hispaniola and Cuba region, but I don't think it's going to last past probably here. I'm thinking where it's going to die off by sometime tomorrow. So this probably won't even matter. And that will be that for Dorian. It could try to regenerate later, but I doubt it. Usually these things, once they go, they stay gone, especially this time of year. A couple other things to look at associated with Dorian. It does have a decent vorticity signature, but this is at the 5,000 foot level, 850 millibars. It's not stacked up high in the atmosphere, and you can tell that by the lack of deep convection. And I think it's just going to move on along here and eventually fade away into the low-level flow around this big old high-pressure area that is currently building over the Atlantic. If we look in the eastern Pacific, we have Tropical Storm Flossie. That is headed towards Hawaii, but I think it'll weaken to a tropical depression. The water over this area is cooler, and more stable environment exists in front of this system as it heads that way. We'll take a look at a satellite loop of Flossie, and you can tell that it's much more organized than is Dorian right now. Just by looking at the satellite loop, you can see lots of banding with the system, much more of a tropical storm look than Dorian is. Certainly a couple of days ago, Dorian was better organized, but you can clearly see here this has much more of a banded structure to it, and nice and curled up, central dense overcast in the middle with strong bands coming in. That's a big clue to the health of a system, and if you compare that to what we have with Dorian, there is no comparison. This is a much more well-organized system. The good news is all of this in front of it is cooler water for the most part. You don't have a lot of high ocean heat content out here, so you folks in Hawaii, no big deal from this system, an increase in rain and wind. And that can be a problem. You don't want to discount the heavy rain, but this will weaken as it heads towards Hawaii, bringing an increase in moisture, some additional surf probably, and the surfers are like that. But that's it. Other than that, everything is nice and quiet across the tropics as we head towards the end of July. All right, well, that is it for today. I'll be back again tomorrow. Again, my name is Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, my site. Always a pleasure to do these videos for Hurricane Pro and HD. I'll have more for you over the weekend.